discussion segment this morning on Good Morning Anambra, the 12th day of May 2025. If you're just joining us, my name is Ajuruchukwu Okabwe.
My name is Nonya Nwokwe. Welcome. And today on the program, we're going to talk about one big issue in Nigeria that has become, I don't know what adjective to use to qualify that issue. You know, it has become endemic, and some of us are not happy with the way it is going. So sit tight as we are here to talk about that.
What we'll be talking about is nothing other than what gives every one of us headache. At home, in your place of work, schools, even in your place of worship, corruption is the bane, whereby some people have tagged Nigeria to be the corruption headquarters of the world. Well, I don't know if you actually believe in that, but then they said there's no smoke without fire when you discuss what happens with corruption, how we see it and how we perceive it. It's like we're now wearing it as a toga in this part of the world, where world leaders will say Nigeria is fantastically corrupt. We've had a whole lot of people coming to do business in this part of the world, and they give a very ugly account of how their businesses went. And that's what we'll be talking this morning. Corruption, still Nigeria's biggest problem, and how do we navigate about that?
Actually, we're bringing it as a question this morning, whether it is still Nigeria's biggest problem. And in the studio, we've been joined by public affairs analyst John Ifejika to help us look at this issue. You're welcome to the studio, sir.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
All right. Now, in 2003, the National Bureau of Statistics, NBS, reported that Nigeria was the 140th least corrupt country out of 180 countries, as determined by the 2024 Corruption Perceptions Index. This is in 2003. Between that time and now, you know, do you think it is still a big challenge to us as a nation?
Yes, it is, because if you look at it, it's been said that right from inception, the amount of corruption has risen to $400 billion in terms of what people have stolen in this country, what people have given to themselves in this country. And it's a continuous thing. This thing started in the first idea of corruption we had was that of 1941, when ACB, African Continental Bank, was formed. And Zeke Nnamdi Azikiwe happened to be the owner of that bank. And, but along the line, they find out that he used the money of Eastern region to start that, and wanted to give that to himself. And that was how somehow, through investigation, and that became the Eastern Region Bank, the ACB. Then the Cocoa House, which brought war between Chief Awolowo and Samuel Akintola. Somebody wanted to use the government money to get all these properties. So you see, once you do something in a very dishonest way and a fraudulent way, is corruption. It could be maybe in your home, your daughter now may find out that the immediate elder brother is a bully to her, and the other good one is the good friend, and he will hide the meat under the rice and put one on top and give to him. The others like that. It's corruption. So you find out that it's in every strata of level in our country. It's a common thing everywhere. Even little children knows. You see children, they will hold their biscuits. They know you are not looking. They have their own, or they will take your own. It's corruption. So when we begin to settle it, what is corruption? It goes beyond embezzlement. We had bribery is there. Falsifying documents is part of it, and so on. Most of the people you see, especially civil servants, Most of them, they don't even have the good certificate. If you begin to say, let us check certificates and begin to do investigation, you will find out that a lot of people are working with fake documents and so on. So it's not only in money. When we talk of corruption, it's everywhere, all things. And now you are qualified to get a job, they won't give it to you because you have not done what you're supposed to do. The messenger that carries your file from the financial director's office to the MD's office hides your file because you don't give him tip. You don't give him money. You will tell your guy, your file don't lost. And the MD cannot go and check for your file. Even if you're a candidate of the MD, cannot go and get your file for you. It's that same man that will do the job. Until you now know how to settle the issue. So I went to Abuja to Federal Secretariat some years ago. And that day everybody was telling me, Happy Friday. Happy Friday. I don't even know what it means by Happy Friday. They opened the door for me, the gate, and I entered where I was going. Happy Friday. I now asked somebody, what is Happy Friday? He said, if you don't give them tea, coming back will be difficult for you because the gate will not be open. So I now opened my purse, gave them something. I said, go and eat, maybe for your lunch. You understand me? So at times they make things difficult for you. You take someone to the hospital, but because you have not settled, you are there. You are there seated and facing a lot of challenges.
So you've said a whole lot about corruption, the way you understand it or you've experienced it in this part of the country. And now you're beginning to make it look like a very huge, complex issue when you, just the way you cited. And then from what you just stated now, there are so many factors that can be responsible because what you talked about was not just monetary corruption. You're talking about character, corruption in character, corruption in diligence to duty, corruption in even parenting, and a whole lot of things that you've said now. So now, where can you say, or how can you say we got to this? When you started with the issue of the Zik and then the Awolowo, definitely that wasn't how it started in homes. So how did we even get it on? Because before you get to public office, before you become governor or become anything you be, the family is your first foundation of everyone. So where do you think this whole thing emanated from?
You see, when you start seeing what is happening
in the society,
yes, you see, this thing moves like infectiously, as if it's a sickness, and actually it's a sickness. It's a disease. It moves just like that. Greed is one aspect of what we are talking about. Lifestyle. I want to be like somebody. Just like I come to school and you come to school. You are the last born of the family. And your brothers, your sisters are all working. They are sending you money. And me, I'm the first out of 7 children. My mom, a school teacher. My dad, working as an artisan in coal corporation. Now, we are all, the money, they struggle to give me money. Now I see you, my classmate. You are the last in the family. They send you shirts. So sister will send you so many things. I want to be like you. I cannot meet up. The money my father gives to me, it's not okay for me. And I want to be like the Jones. Then I have to behave and do things to be like the Jones. The money you have, I look at it, it's not okay. It's either I steal or I change things. Maybe I'm the class captain. I'm asked to go and buy something. And that thing is 10 naira. I receipt it. That is 20 naira. And I found out that that shirt I want to buy is 15 naira. I'll go and pay deposit to that mama's shop. Say I will come back and collect, just keep this shirt for me. So I will not think that he's the only one that has that shirt. I want to be like him. The mama may say, okay, go with it when you have the money. And I will start to look again I may tell Nonya, I said, that's your car, the problem, there's something wrong with that tire. I'll go carry old tire and put there. Then change that tire. That's one phase of it. I've not been asked to go and buy something. Maybe I'm in procurement department of ABS. Then asked to go and buy something. I get into a car. Some people even print their own receipt. Put fictitious things, print their own receipt. And you sell the whole thing. They put their own price. And they put stamp. And carry it to the office. And they accept it. That money they make is for their lifestyle. There was a case of a man who stole in one of the big hotels in Nigeria. He stole about they said 100 million or so was the money has been stolen. And when they got home, the wife said, this money you people are mentioning has not reflected to the family. I'm the one paying the school fees. I'm the one struggling to pay for the house rent. So what did he do with the money? So he found out that he will buy cars and so on, where he has not reached that level of buying cars.
All right. We know that corruption, we've talked about it over time, and globally we have a World Corruption Day being celebrated, probably to let people know that it is not good, or to stop it, or to find a way to, And in Nigeria, a lot of bodies, a lot of offices were created to fight corruption. People like EFCC, ICPC, and all whatnot. But rather than, curbing corruption, it seems corruption keeps growing in leaps and bounds. And of course, I don't know whether we should attribute it to this Igbo balance that says that we should have 1 million. Does it mean that in Nigeria we did not acquire the million that this thing keeps growing by the day? Another balance is what actually is our problem in the fight against corruption? Since we have created a lot of offices to help in the fight against corruption. We have we have put people of integrity in such positions to fight corruption. But rather than fighting corruption, we see it growing. What actually seems to be the problem here?
You mentioned EFCC and the ICPC. The only person that can fight corruption is Caesar's wife, because Caesar's wife is blameless. Now you ask a corrupt man to go and mention EFCC. EFCC take bribe. It's no more hidden secret. They take bribe. They do so many things. When they rush, they go to all those boys, they say they are Yahoo. Those boys will pay some amount to go and bail themselves. It's a common thing we know. So they are all corrupt. So corruption is a thing that makes people laugh. A governor was accused in Nigeria of stealing some 80 billion naira. Today the governor is a free man, moving everywhere. EFCC collected him and do all those things. You see, when they tell you that, we have important prisoners and political prisoners. You see, if somebody like me, because I'm not important, is arrested, they will ask me to be under the police. But anytime you see EFCC, DSS fighting over somebody, it's not because of any other thing. It's because of what will come out of that place. It's juicy. There are some functions that are meant for police, but today they are doing everything. The CBN, for example, says that spraying of naira, we should not mutilate money, the naira, dirty money. It's not the function of EFCC, neither is it the function of the DSS. It's the police function. They are the people that will do all these things because they are the closest to us. When you carry petrol tank, it's the work of the civil defense that they will hold all the tankers to check the paper where you are getting this petrol from, and so on. One, corruption comes, the church has a blame to be blamed on this. If you working in ABS, which I know, and you go to church and donate money, the church will not ask you how your salary is not up to 15 million that you gave to us. Even in 5 years, maybe your salary is not up to that.
So how come?
How come you do that? The only time it happened was when Most Reverend Timothy Olufosoye was the Primate Church of Nigeria. He came to Enugu, then Jim Nwobodo was the governor, and to open a church in Jim Nwobodo's village. After the whole thing, Jim Nwobodo gave them money, 1 million naira. That man refused to go to Belu, was the bishop of Enugu. When they counted the money, the man said maybe it's a mistake that we are the governor giving us 1 million naira. For what? The man did not go. He had to wait to go on Monday to go to the office to greet the governor. So thank him and say, we noticed, so when we are counting the money, we noticed that you people gave us much, 1 million. It was then Mobodana told them that his company, Link Group, gave that money to build the church. Today, if you are a clerk and you bring money, that is your 10-year salary, the church will take it. They will not ask you, how did you get that money? And today I come in, maybe I'm working in ABS as a clerk or a cameraman, a reporter, and I come to my family and I'm building mighty, all they will say that no bugozu. That's what they will say. Nobody queries. Nobody asks questions. I remember when we were in school, the reigning thing at that particular time was Hins pants and Hins singlet. So when you come back from boarding house, your mom knows that when you were going to school, she gave you just 6. Why is it 8? There used to be accountability. She now asks you. Then don't give good account of that thing, then hell will be let loose. You will suffer for that thing. Your mom may follow you to school to return it back to those. The owners that where you took it from. Then you now say it was given to you by a relation. They will give you beating. Why didn't you tell us to say thank you to them for giving you this thing? Because at that particular time, somebody gives you 10 naira, you tell your mom, you tell your dad, you tell your brother, this is what brother so and so has given to me. You give it to them. But today it's not so. Once you see money, they will tell you this guy is making money. How is he making the money? It's true. There's no accountability. You go, you live on a street, you buy they see you a worker in a state secretariat. You have 4 cars. Your dad is not selling car. Your mom is not selling car. And you have 4 cars. What are you doing with 4 cars? People will ask questions and report. You are a medical doctor working in a teaching hospital, and people will come for there. They will not see you. You will refer them to your own hospital. Whereas we have the teaching hospital there, we have the specialist hospital, but you will refer them to your own hospital. It's corruption.
So the reason why it has continued without abating is, there's no accountability.
Yes, and then if you are asked to come and checkmate me,
okay,
I will give you something to silence you. You even like it.
Just like NEPA will come to cut light in your area and people will gather.
To give them money and so on. So,
I know that, instead of using the money you give to NEPA to go and pay for the bills, you now use it to settle one man.
That's this thing. So that at least you will not have light for some time. Thinking that the thing has been written off. It has not been written off. You are still going. But by the time you are asked, maybe your office sends you to go and check. You go there, maybe they ask you to go to 10 hospitals, and you go to 10 places to go and check. You don't know where they do. And they give you 200,000 into 10. That's 2 million. It solves your problem for the week.
Okay, you've said a whole lot, and we are beginning to wonder if there is an end to what we see as corruption here. But now, when you're talking about weak institutions, even though the ESCC is there, the ICPC is there, and so many other institutions that are meant to combat or bring corruption to the barest minimum, none of them seems to be working. Could it be that the leaders are not the ones that are leading by example, That's why we seem to still be in line with this. And secondly, what can we actually do in order to begin to checkmate these issues that we are having with corruption?
Yes, if we want to do that, we will now have another group that we will form to checkmate the EFCC and the ICPC on what they are doing.
And you think they're not going to go the other way, the way of the others?
No, you see, there will be a kind of caution at a time. Now, most of the time, some people will come. Now, there's a case now where Ikeja High Court has asked one man called Olalekon. They collected $20,000 from him, EFCC collected. And the court is asking them to refund that money back to that man. It's a case. So many other people who never had the opportunity of going to court that they came to their house and collected so many things which they did not return. You see, if they have a very high place where they could be checkmated and go and report them and so on. And by the time 1, 2, 3 people have lost their job and go to jail, I say if I'm coming, if the person I'm taking over from is in jail, I'll be very careful not to go to jail because I don't want to go to jail. So these are the things. But because there's nothing like that, and then you look at it, now, if you are given an appointment, your people will come to your house. Your church members will come to your house. They will say, thank God. We are thanking God. It's Thanksgiving. Please, don't disappoint us. That disappointment is not that you should not do your work. But remember us, forgetting that if you're a vice chancellor, you are a governor, you are a salaried man. So money you are giving, the money you are giving should be from your salary, not government money. That is why you see, when you see some individuals who are intelligent, who become governors or become something, and they want to do good to somebody, they will not give you an appointment. This mama was the one giving me food when I was in the university. Let me give her appointment as my special assistant, level 9, level 10. They start to pay that salary. And things like that. They do that, some people do it. But some will say, come, let me give you contract. And that contract has not been done.
All right. Before we go further into, way forward, when Ajilu was doing introduction, he said something about, some people saying when they want to refer to Nigeria as a corrupt nation, they say Nigeria is fantastically I think that corrupt.
That's Tony Blair. Tony Blair made that statement.
Yes. When, as a Nigerian, and something of this nature is said about you, how does it feel as a Nigerian? In other words, the consequences of being corrupt or being a corrupt nation. What are the consequences?
The consequences is that when you get to the airport, they begin to search you as if you're a criminal. You are not a criminal. You don't know anything about that. You are traveling to US and you are going to catch a train from Washington, D.C. down to Charleston in South Carolina. And it's a 9-hour train ride. But because of the delay in searching you a Nigerian, because of the corruption that is in that country, they think that you are either carrying drugs or you are running arms or one thing or the other. They begin to search you, put you there. At times you will sit down, you will miss your train. And you are going to pay extra to stay for the second day to catch up your train to go to where your destination. So it has always been like that, embarrassing Nigerians wherever they go to. A Ghanaian will come, which is a tiny country compared to Nigeria. They will give them express passage. But you as a Nigerian, you will suffer it there. You will be there. You will suffer the embarrassment because your country is corrupt. Corrupt in the sense that you do election, it will be rigged. If that election is not rigged, the judiciary will change it. This is the only country in the world I've seen where somebody came forth. And when they went to judiciary, the person came first. And what condition? Is it statistical aspect of it that they are talking or what? Then they will go and destroy the other evidence of the first 1, 2, and 3, then they will now bring this man's evidence. They have destroyed others. When you ask the umpire that conducted the election, they will tell you that they've destroyed the thing. And the judge will, because something has happened, we decided that we will work with what we have on ground. Because somebody somewhere has gone there to settle. So people are confident, people are not even afraid. In those days, they say he that must go to equity must go with clean hands, but not in Nigeria, because people felt that money can give them whatever they want.
Now, can we look at, a situation where these things are happening and our younger generations are, watching and seeing what we are doing? What becomes of that nation in the next 5, 10 years, or if not less than 5 years? What happens? Because, when you train a child becomes stronger than you. Of course, you'll be getting older. The child is still younger. So now what happens in a situation whereby we are corrupt, we are showing it everywhere, we are no longer hiding it, and the younger ones are watching us do it?
It has affected us. If those small boys who are in secondary school begin to name cars that exist in Nigeria, their father is not even having a spoke of a bicycle tire, not to talk of having a car. But those children will tell you that they are going to ride so and so cars. They will be mentioning all those things because they found out that their father that led a very honest life because of his religion, Christianity or Islam, their father was very pious and so on, and led a very good life, but they didn't see the game. They now decided, no, when we grow up, we will do what others do to do what? To get the money. And they will do that. It's either they go into rituals or they go into Yahoo or Yahoo Plus, which is what a lot of people are now doing, to harvest organ and sell. They will harvest organ and sell because the society will recognize them. And by the time they do all these things and they have money and they come back to the society, and the villagers coming in to the house to come and greet you people, and you go and bring one big okemanya and bring this thing and put 100,000 there for them that this is cola. You see those men begin to hail him, a boy of 23, 24, 25, to hail him because money. People are hungry in this country. The politicians have raped us. They've raped the people of this country. And
are we not hungry back in the days?
No.
We're not hungry?
The soldiers, when the soldiers were in power, they were stealing with force. And that is why their own is called embezzlement.
Okay.
They were stealing with force, embezzlement. Now the politicians have come. They now put us in hunger. So that when you see a bag of rice, you begin to shake, and so on. And you know that this man has been stealing our money, either as a local government chairman, or a state governor, or a commissioner, or a president, or vice president, or a member of the House of Assembly. They've been stealing, and you cannot say anything again. And he comes back again after that 4 years and give you money. You will accept. Because now, a man who has no money, his senses doesn't work.
Yeah,
right.
You've talked about corruption and the rest of it all. Now, talking about how do we begin to navigate towards having a better society devoid of corruption and the rest of it all. We talked about having EFCC and the rest of it all. But then, sensitization, creating awareness, the adverse effect of corruption, even entrench it back in schools, and then our politicians begin to, have less, let's say, avaricious appetite for ill-gotten wealth. Would that put us on the right path to redeeming ourselves from this unwanted toga of being the corruption headquarters of the world?
Yes, it will help us. If now we now say this, the National Assembly will not be a full-time thing, it will be part-time. All you are giving is sitting allowance. Any day you come for plenary, you are giving 100,000. as your sitting allowance. No salary for you. And that is, you are giving 100,000, that's your sitting allowance. Then you are giving good food, and you are giving another 50,000 for accommodation and transportation. You go, it will not attract people. Because if you see the way these people take money, and the money they are spending is constituency money, constituency allowance to help you and me. Now they will take the money.
We're still talking about corruption, ending it in this part of the world. If it's ever going to be possible to, strike a balance, and then probably we begin to see the other parts of who we are as Nigerians. And we're still talking here, and we still have John Ifejika, a public affairs analyst, and then we'll be talking, how do we come out of these woods when it has to do with corruption at your workplace, even in the open public space. You see people drink starchy water, and without even minding, they just drop it anywhere they see. People go to banks, they want to jump queue. These are all acts of corruption. It's embedded in our DNA. And I remember way back in the 80s, under the military administration, there was what we call war against indiscipline. People queue at bus stops in order to board vehicles. At banks, people queue in order to get tally numbers and the rest of it. But this all happened in this country. Well, all of a sudden, even down to the minutest of traffic lights, we no longer adhere to it. But the same Nigerians that are so lawless in this part of the world, whenever they cross the border, the divide, they tend to be law-abiding. So what actually is the problem? Is it just corruption? Is it just institutionalized in Nigeria, or is it a Nigerian factor that whenever we go out, we behave like the roads, but when we're in Nigeria, everything, we lose guard, and then we just allow everything goes?
Yes, we will need to start catching them young. In China, if a boy of 3 years is weeping, crying, the mother has caned him or her seriously. Once that child hears on the radio the national anthem, the child will stop crying. And the child will stand up. Indoctrination. The child will do what? Stand up to listen to that national anthem. Once that national anthem stops, the child will come back and start crying. It's what they do. It's not magic. We have to change our curriculum of education, history and civics, and start to get these young ones now. If we don't do it, we will be in mess, because these ones are overgrown babies. We cannot bend them again. So we begin to catch these young ones, this new generation, telling them what to do. When you see Nigerian flag, you respect Nigerian flag. You see the coat of arms, you know what it's all about.
What happens to the body language of the parents at home? Because these children are already in homes, and the body language of parents at home are saying economy is tight, this is that. Nobody is talking about promoting the Nigerian entity. So where will the children grab this mantra?
Yes, in the school, once you begin to teach them, it goes into their body. They know. It goes into them, and it will sink into the caveat membrane. Look, it will sink in them, and it will not come out. But you find out that we don't have that. Start to catch them young. Curriculum will change. Civics, teach them all those things. Then the church also have a great work to do. They should forget about the hunting for money and not come back again to teach people what it means. Loyalty to your country and to your God. They begin to teach all these things. Now you find out that the new generation that will be coming out will be changed people.
You said here earlier, you talked about, the system trying to get another agency that could monitor the already existing agencies of corruption. Now I remember that there is another agency called NAITI, Nigerian Extractive Industry, Initiative or something like that. They are there to, be vigilant or watch out on what is going wrong in the system, especially where extractive industry is concerned. But all these things are there, and we still have this huge, corruption act going on in the nation. when you talk about this creating another arm, do you think that with the already so many agencies that we've had to help, not just in the area of corruption, like you remember when road safety came out, people were happy. You see people say that they don't take bribe after some time. So do you think that that could be a source of solution to what we are actually clamoring for in the nation when it comes to curbing corruption?
You see, when road safety, let me correct one thing. When road safety came, their salary and that of the civil defense were higher than that of Nigeria police.
Okay.
It was even the civil defense salary scale that they used to uplift that of the police.
Okay.
At the time, the deputy commissioner of police at that time was earning 60,000 naira. So tell me why that man will not mess up. Now, when you give somebody and say he's having arms and life of people are in his hand, you go and pay him as a soldier, you pay him 45,000. You pay him 60,000. He will go, one day you carry the gun to go and steal, become an armed robber. If you see where people want to kidnap and they hire him, he will follow them to do kidnapping. And so on. When Evans was caught, some soldiers were with him who were kidnapping, and so on. The government, the politicians are foolish. If they are not foolish, I don't know why the politicians cannot decide to say, we are taking a lot of jumbo salary. Why can't the soldiers, the police, and so on be paid high? If somebody is working, now let me give you an example. I went to Shell camp, to Shell quarters in Lagos. So I now was talking with my friend. I said, I saw so many things scattered and so on. Look, fans and so on. And you people are not having inventory. Are you sure they will not steal it? He said, how can a man who earns 1 million naira a month go and steal an AC of 34,000? Then AC was 34,000. Go and steal AC. It's unbecoming. You are paid very well. Then you go to canteen of ABS, you eat chicken of 250 naira. You want to hide that. No! Because you can even give them the money. You have money. Our people are not well paid. They are not well remunerated. And that is why when somebody comes with the idea of corruption, they fall in so easily. Government should learn to pay. How can you give somebody a take-home pay of 70,000 naira a month?
So you think creating that other agencies to control the already existing agencies will work?
Yes. Do you know why they will work? You pay them very well so that this agency will not corrupt them. Okay. That's where I'm going. Because the fact remains that there are people that have not, in their life, they've worked for more than 30 years, now waiting for 5 years to go on retirement. They've never set their eyes on 1 million. And now you put them to be in charge, to inspect EFCC and ICPC. And they get there, they give them 5 million cash, say take. No, what do you think that person will do? What will that person do? He will accept and write a good report about them that they are not doing anything. That's the kind of a thing. Except people like us who are ready to die. I don't need any money again to say I want to build any house or to go and do all these things. Yes, I begin to point them. Then if you want to come to my house in the night, we will kill ourselves, so on. So these are the things. You come, there are a lot of them, die-hard people that will know. Because every evil being committed by EFCC, ICPC, or whoever, people know it. You will see it on Facebook. You investigate, and you look at it, you get people. And once they know they are being investigated, everybody will sit off. That's the truth of the matter.
In some survey that I came across talking about corruption in Nigeria, what the writer there said that part of the reason why Nigeria or most African countries seem to be corrupt is having mostly illiterate or semi-illiterate running the affairs of those countries. And those people don't have the political will to say no to some practices in public office. How true could that be, Mr. John Ifechika?
Yes, I see it. It's true. Because in Nigeria, when some military were ruling, some of them never went beyond Sandhurst and so on. Let me say diploma in education. That's what it should be. But when Thomas Sankara came, Sankara read geology. Now he came and said corruption must go. You see, education. Today Sankara is no more on the line. But we're not talking, the whole world is talking about one boy, that is something years, Ibrahim Traore. I think he read Greek science. It's either he read Greek science or geology. And Sankara read another one. Two of them read, one of them read geology, the other one Greek science. Now look at the way he's transforming Burkina Faso. Look at the way he's doing things. He was a captain. He's not living in presidential palace. That's the kind of people who are the children of Caesar's wife, who will now come blameless. They are not after what we are talking about. They are after. Have you ever seen him wear Abada?
But our leaders, they've seen so many beautiful things out there, and when it is not reflecting, do you think they can copy these ones?
The Munnas have come to meet them and tell them it's our turn now. Turn now for us to steal. It's our turn now for us to embarrass people. Because the last man who was there embarrassed our own community. Now it's our turn now to go and embarrass their own community, to go and do things. It's our turn now. The other man that was there for 8 years, never built road in our community. It's our own turn now. They will tell you that, and that is it. The only man that can rule anywhere in Nigeria, other state, is a man that has no townsman. Like a Mr. Beggar. That's the kind of person who has no townsman, no relation, no friend, no church member. That's the person that will come and say, I want to change Nigeria, and so on. This my train. If my wife refuses to join me in this train, she will be left by the train. You move and go like that as one oka. That's the kind of person that we need, that will make this country change.
All right. Our time is fast spent and very soon leaving this. Now, do you think Nigeria is redeemable? If you think so, what's the best way to go about it to see that our image is redeemed?
Yes, Nigeria is redeemable. With God, nothing is impossible. But let us have leaders that are truthful, leaders that fear God, leaders that fear God, leaders that know that with God, nothing is impossible, that will come out. Not when you tell us that you're a rich man, you became president of Nigeria, you went to buy a yacht of 500 billion. You became president, you changed the presidential jet. That's not the kind of people. You say you don't need money, but you are doing a lot of things of money. Eating and doing all those things. That's not the kind of people we want. We want people who have the mind of Ibrahim Traore. And that is that focus, total radicalism, and become different from anybody. If church members come, you greet them, but not people who come and say it's our turn. Then we stop those foolish donations that people make everywhere and so on, openly, and begin to do those things.
If it's a private businessman and
not a politician, why would you want to stop somebody from...
Tell me that businessman in Nigeria that never made money through the government, stealing, from Dangote to them all. Tell them who government money is not with. The day total revolution will come in this country, people will pay for what they have done to us.
Well, let us at this juncture just quickly go for a short break and bring you the street work that we were meant to bring for you earlier on. And then when we come back, we shall be wrapping up. Don't go anywhere. The show continues.
You can see, from all indication, you can see that corruption is our problem. Every sector in Nigeria is not working well. Let's be honest. Corruption has eaten every sector in Nigeria. So I'm not even talking about that. So Nigeria is, for me, in terms of that area, Nigeria has a whole lot to do.
Corruption do na Nigeria. Mana ibe anyị na-ekwu onye adozina. Onye ọbụla mara ibe anyị aga na-eme corruption ajọka. Iftabat a na-eme nna ya wu nna ibie ibe anyị na-ekwu ka edozie ebe anyị ka ọdụ gboo zik ibe chere ka stop corruption ka anyị na-eme ibe ka ọ na-aga n'usoro na Nigeria ka igbe na-enezi n'anya outside na ka idozie ebe anyị home is home ndị gọvanọs na-agwa anyị so anyị dozie ebe anyị ọ ya abala anyị
abịa na-ekwu corruption abụọkwa nọ ịbịa ịkpachie nọ ebido ụgwọ n'isi mmiri ebe n'isi mmiri setụgodi afe bifo na-agba ata because ọ ndị a na-acha ya magodi bụ corruption amata ese takụrụ ya bifo na-erute anyị ọ na-erute anyị nwa bụ ordinary drivers na shuttle bus. So that is it.
Corruption is Nigeria's biggest problem. If there's any other word to use for corruption, I will. But corruption and ethnicity and religion is Nigeria's major problem.
In short, I think the name Nigeria connotes corruption. Corruption is the bane of Nigerian destiny. I think I can say every individual in Nigeria is a corrupt person because started from this thing. No, I'm sorry to say everybody because when you are 100, if 70% are corrupt, that's why I say every Nigerian. So I'm sorry to generalize, but that is our problem. It's the bane.
Very, very biggest problem in Nigeria. Corruption is one of the problems in Nigeria because all corruption causes if any in Nigeria, everything other go to in Nigeria. So all the worst the problem in Nigeria, corruption. Because all when corruption other things will go normally. But as far as corruption, also corruption and the corruption is anywhere. All the both DC and the Ndobele. So it starts from the head. The corruption, that is the problem Nigeria have.
From our street parliamentarians there, talking and still, giving us ideas on this corruption that we are facing in this part of the world, if it's definitely going to see an end. I believe that we weren't born with it in this part of the world. It's gradually embedded and eroded, got into our system. So someday we'll definitely get to be getting rid of it, and that I strongly believe, and it will happen definitely in our lifetime. Quickly, let me get back to you, John. What stringent measure do you think that we need to do in order to reap corruption away from our system?
Yes, we should do it the way we did with drugs, the way Buhari and the Diabo deal with drugs people. If you are caught, you are corrupt, they should go into your account, freeze your account, and remove everything. If you have a very wonderful house and they check all that you have made over years, they should use that your building. Nobuta is in the remote village, and they should use that building and use it as a federal government museum or any other thing to help that community where you come from, or make it a hotel. And use it. Then where it is too distant, the person should face the stack firing squad.
All right, it's doable. That's from our analysts this morning. Nigeria is redeemable. And of course, as Nigerians, we are hopeful that someday it will be better. And to you out there that is fantastically corrupt, someday, who knows, a leader that may come up tomorrow, and that your corruption will be dealt with. Let's take this away for today, and that is how we are thanking you so much, John Ifejirika, for being here this morning for the program. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me, and please, let's start living a corruptless life.
Corrupt-free life. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Nonye Mwokoye.
And I'm actually Chukwokabwe. Say tomorrow, God willing, we'll definitely get to do it again.
It's not tomorrow. Up next is Catch the Bus.
I know for Catch, but I mean for the discussion segment.
All right.